After the incredible update Good Night Good Luck that changed nighttime and parkour for the better, many players have been wondering what exactly is next for Dying Light 2. Are they going to be updating the gore even further? Are they adding a survival mode, a night runner difficulty, or even a tag game mode? And while all of that is currently on the table, what else is coming? One of the biggest pieces of content to look forward to is DLC 2, which was actually recently delayed until 2024. And in my opinion, when this DLC does come out, it's either going to make or break the game. Especially after a pretty lackluster first DLC, expectations are higher than ever before. The team are hard at work enhancing the experience of Dying Light 2 with some industry-defining changes to culminate an even stronger launch for DLC 2. We'll have more info over the next few months, so stay tuned. The choice to spend more time on development concerns our commitment to delivering the best story expansion possible with a new map and systems. With the DLC 2 delay, the lead franchise director, Timon Smektala, he sat down to answer community questions regarding the subject while also tackling some about the future and also what's to come. And fair warning, some answers that he gave make expectations even higher than before. If it's true, great, but if it's misleading and what's being spoken right now doesn't actually happen, I swear Techland must get off to this shit. Now wait, hold on. While we do go and wait for DLC 2 to come out, we need to keep that zombie itch all scratched up, okay? And that's why I do recommend checking out today's sponsor, Tactical, a fun action-packed top-down shooter that offers up one of my favorite game modes, Zombie Survival. It's now available for free on mobile and also PC with this QR code right here, okay? Put the code TACTIDE to get the Jason Operator, RPG, and also 50k silver. Not only does Tactical offer an immersive zombie survival mode that is absolutely crazy and super intense in the later rounds, but also includes tactical 5v5 teamwork and strategic online PvP modes such as Capture the Bag, Team Deathmatch, and with the car chases, destructible environments, it makes for some really intense and exciting moments. It also has customizable characters and up to 80 real-life weapons in here too. Now, Tactical, it's an award-winning game that has a strong, welcoming community of over 20 million players, alright? And they have a ton of heartwarming stories here, okay? One player met her husband, and now they're happily married with kids. Tactical is not just a game, but also a platform to connect like-minded individuals from all over the world. And starting today, you can join us. You can play on mobile and PC for free with this QR code right here. If you put the code TACTIDE, you'll get the Jason Operator, the RPG, and also 50k silver. Let's get back to it now. You can expect the length of DLC 2 story to last about 10 plus hours long. It takes place after the events of the main game, and it brings our character Aiden Caldwell to completely new places. The DLC will take place in a brand new location with a strong, massive focus around the infected. Aiden will be getting brand new skills, including infected skills, aka his Fury mode is going to be expanded on. That was one of the major criticisms with Techland and Dying Light 2, is that they didn't take advantage of the systems that they had right in front of them. And also just certain areas were lacking when comparing it to the original title. That is why this delay happened. They are taking that extra time to improve the base game experience to put DLC 2 in a much better place. And that is something that I have been echoing myself on this channel for months. All the way back to December of 2022, in the Christmas holiday spirit, I told them that Dying Light 2 was on the damn operation table, and they needed to take some time to fix the core issues before proceeding further, and that's exactly what they're doing right now. The game became a whole lot scarier with updates. You can enjoy the DLC standalone, separate from the main game, but of course it will be way more fulfilling if you are familiar with the main events. You can actually play the DLC without playing the base game at all. This isn't like an Uncharted Lost Legacy situation or anything like that where the DLC is being sold separately. You'll most likely still need Dying Light 2 in order to play it. The price of the DLC is currently unknown, but of course players who purchase the Ultimate Edition of the game will get it at no extra cost. Additionally, DLC 2 is unlikely to be the last DLC, as they still have a few more years left on their their 5-year support plan. And in a recent Q&A session on the official Dying Light Reddit, Timon let us in even further on what we can expect with the future. When it comes to new and exciting updates, they are already planning and actively working on the new community update. Community updates, they're these big bombastic updates by Techland that are made directly with community feedback, and that's coming relatively soon. Dynamic weather is also on their list of changes. They're going to start small and then work from there and see what changes they can make. When it comes to a roadmap, Techland currently has nothing to share at the moment. Quote, of course, but don't expect anything to happen before the end of summer holidays. We have some cool events stuff ready for you for the hot months, and we'll reveal more about the future afterwards. He also talked about Hellraid. You remember Hellraid?
Leave me alone!
I literally was thinking about it yesterday. I love Hellraid as the brand, series, idea. I have a strong emotional connection to it. So if I happen to stay in my current position long enough, I'll definitely be advocating for it to happen. I see Dying Light Hellraid almost like OniZombies, a cool mini-series we could be going back to in the future. This one is just wow. I was not expecting this to make a return in the future. I mean, the community does love it. I guess I'm in the minority, but I actually didn't enjoy my time with it. Wasn't really a huge fan of it, but one thing I am a huge fan of is the Summer of Horrors, and this is where Techland is prioritizing events, crossover, and bundles. More content updates like the one with the payday are on the horizon. The event and collaboration with The Walking Dead is a prime example of that. Yes, if you remember, Techland, they went to Summer Games Fest, and if you blinked or you sneezed, you might have missed them there. They popped in, said hi, and it was truly an announcement of all time. But here and also afterwards, they did confirm that a Walking Dead crossover was coming, hinting at Lucille, Negan's back, making its way in too. But they also have a few more surprises coming in the future. The Walking Dead is just stated to be the very beginning. More outfits and skins will be coming into the game. Skins for the grappling hooks are now being explored to determine what exactly is possible. Techland will also be adding in new zombie types, new freaks of nature. They want to introduce bold new enhancements and mutations to these guys to make gameplay even more compelling and satisfying. Especially with the new gore system that was released a couple months ago, it's going to pair together very nicely. To rapid fire a few ones, plenty of new and awesome Easter eggs will be making its way into Dying Light 2 with DLC 2. That seems to be the Techland charm, where they just go absolutely wild and crazy with it. You remember the Super Mario one from Dying Light? That shit was way better than Super Nintendo World, where you stand in line for a couple hours and you get punched in the head by a kid. Fucking bullshit. Someone asked about Kyle Crane and Brecken returning. No information or real answer was given. Timon basically said, I don't want to spoil things. And he gave that same answer when asked about Haran survivors, returning characters from Dying Light 1, and also characters from Dying Light 2. To me, the way he answered these questions kind of confirms that a familiar face will be returning at some point, especially with everything that I went over in my previous video about Kyle Crane. The evidence just seems to be piling up here. So I wouldn't be really surprised if he does return in the future. One person that is definitely returning for the future is the composer Olivier, who did some incredible work on the base game and also Bloody Ties. When it comes to the team itself, Techland, it's mostly the same as the original. Huge part of the gameplay team is the same, but we're reaching out to some new people. I'm especially excited about some of the new writers that we have on the project. That right there gives me a whole lot of hope here. It's the equivalent of hearing banging 3,000 feet deep into the ocean. So I'm quite excited to see what's being cooked up in this regard. Now, I do want to go and shift topics a little bit to features and updates that Techland may add into the game. It's kind of up in the air, or they just have no ambition to do so. Let's go. Techland is also not ruling out drivable vehicles in the game. They're currently exploring all the options and seeing what they can do. Me, personally, I would love to see something like this implemented into the game. Vehicles are familiar to the Dying Light franchise. We saw Buggies being added into the following, and that became the staple of Transversal in the later years. I asked the community on here what they would be interested in, and overwhelmingly, a majority of you said dirt bikes. I think a dirt bike would be incredible to add into Dying Light 2. So fingers crossed, something like that could happen. Zombie wildlife No! Zombie-infected wildlife and animals will not be in DLC 2 as the focus is purely on zombies. Techland also does not plan on adding in casual events such as fishing in the game. They also stated that base building is definitely not on their radar as it goes completely against the character of Aiden. Makes sense, Aiden is a pilgrim. His role is to move through the map and locations, and he never really has a chance to call a place home. That's why no matter the ending that you get in Dying Light 2, he always ends up leaving Villador. Next, PvP is not planned for DLC 2. F in the chat for all my BTZ fans out there, all 5 of you, it's just not happening. Alongside this, companions, pets, dogs will also not be added in as well. Also, things such as romance options are not coming, so F in the chat again to everyone who wanted to clap Thalia cheeks again, can't do so. Currently, no survival mode either. Timon did claim that it was a personal dream of his and that there's a chunky chance it will happen. And if it does, it'll be for the main game, just not for DLC. What's up, dog? Underwater activities and focus on underwater gameplay is not being focused on anymore, which is a shame. I was really hoping to go deep sea diving with my Logitech controller.
Oh no!
This one is particularly interesting because leaks from a while ago suggested exactly this, and that seems to be scrapped completely now. And to go ahead and finalize the last few ones, Aiden, he'll be running into new factions as he journeys across this new area. The new groups of people, they'll be presented differently than the Peacekeepers and also the survivors from the main game. Max level will 100% be increased for the players. And finally, my absolute favorite one, I'm going to let this one speak for itself. New weapon types, aka guns, are coming. A player asked, will there be modern guns or others in this DLC? And here's what Timon said. Of course, we'll add some new weapons. And by saying that, I don't only mean new machetes and axes, but also completely new weapon types. We also plan to take weapon crafting further, as some of those weapons will get the ability to be upgraded. And based on that response right there, my expectation is that makeshift weapons, makeshift guns will be added into the game. Possible blueprints for them will appear throughout the open world. You'll be able to go to the craftmaster, maybe even purchase those blueprints more, but more importantly, you'll be able to upgrade them further and make them better, which is exactly what Team 1 was talking about here. That sounds like perfection to me. I know players have been wanting guns to be added into this game for the longest time. I mean, every single poll I do on this channel, guns can never lose, but it seems like it's finally coming true with DLC 2. But out of all of this, which one are you most excited for? Comment down below and let me know. Once again, thank you so much to the sponsor of this video and every single one of you for supporting the channel further. And with all that said, I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.